Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex. I don't need anything from someone like you.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse.
They just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the
call
dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erase that whole image.
They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing?
The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV. There's power of television. And to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
Where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world. But the first thing we need to do is entertain.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple. A wishing apple? You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the leader I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not. First love's kiss can break any curse.
Rachel Zegler's Hollywood journey was supposed to be the stuff of fairy tales. A young, talented actress catapulted to stardom after a breakout role in a Spielberg film. But now, the story's taken a turn so sharp, even the most creative screenwriters couldn't script it. What started as a dream opportunity to play Disney's iconic Snow White has morphed into a cultural spectacle, and not in the good way. And now, to top it all off, The Simpsons, yes, that Simpsons, is preparing to air an episode that doesn't just poke fun at Rachel, it roasts her completely. No subtle digs, no respectful nods to controversy, just full-on, unfiltered satire. The parody, titled SnowWoke, the Reimagining, doesn't even try to mask who it's targeting. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like, a brutal satire that turns Disney's once-beloved classic into a punchline, with a very recognizable stand-in for Rachel Zegler at the center of the chaos. This episode is already stirring the pot online, and not just because it's funny, it's because it symbolizes something far deeper. The public turning on a star who, not long ago, was being hailed as Hollywood's next big thing. The timing couldn't be worse.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
Rachel is still trying to recover from an avalanche of backlash that's left her career in PR limbo. And now, one of television's most iconic shows is putting her front and center as a cultural punchline. The character based on her, Rachel Z, is portrayed as self-important, tone-deaf, and wildly out of touch. The jokes echo the very criticisms that have followed Zegler for months. Critics have accused her of being the least genuine actress in Hollywood, and that's saying something in an industry built on performance.
Theaters are, of course, entirely empty. Do understand that having people buy tickets is an important part of success in your industry. Rachel Zegler, I guess, didn't get the memo.
Social media hasn't held back either. Comments like, "Of course Snow White flopped. You cast the most disliked actress in Hollywood," are everywhere. For Zegler, who was once being groomed as Disney's golden girl, this level of public mockery isn't just damaging, it's career-threatening. And it all stems from one role, one remake, one moment that was supposed to launch her into the A-list, but instead opened a trapdoor beneath her feet. If you made it this far, you're clearly one of the real ones, so why not hit that subscribe button and help us hit our first 1,000 subscribers? Every click counts, and I'd seriously appreciate the support. To understand how this fairy tale unraveled so fast, we have to rewind. Rachel Zegler first made waves in Steven Spielberg's 2021 adaptation of West Side Story. Her performance was praised as nuanced, emotional, and raw, exactly the kind of breakout Hollywood loves. She won awards, gained media attention, and found herself suddenly at the center of casting calls for huge projects. It felt like she was on a rocket ship aimed at superstardom. So when Disney cast her as the lead in their live-action remake of Snow White, it was a massive deal. A Latina actress playing one of the most historically white, classic Disney princesses? It was bold, progressive, and instantly polarizing. At first, the announcement made headlines for all the right reasons.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Disney was betting big on representation and modern storytelling, but the tide turned quickly. Rachel's press interviews, meant to hype up the film, started going viral for all the wrong reasons.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Instead of focusing on the legacy of the character or her excitement to take on such a beloved role, Rachel used her platform to critique the original 1937 classic. In one now infamous interview, she declared that the prince was a stalker and dismissed the entire story as outdated and weird. Her words didn't land well. To many fans, it felt like she was ridiculing the very film she was supposed to be honoring. That's when the backlash began snowballing. Fans felt alienated. Critics called her ungrateful. The internet exploded. Every time Rachel appeared in a new interview, it seemed to make things worse. She kept doubling down on her take, promoting a more independent, feminist Snow White who didn't need saving. An idea that might have worked if delivered with nuance. But instead, it came off as smug and dismissive. Even her body language during press tours, especially alongside co-star Gal Gadot, was scrutinized. People noticed the lack of chemistry between them. Their now notorious appearance together at the Oscars was awkward to the point of being meme-worthy. Fans speculated about tension behind the scenes, and those rumors only fueled the fire. And all this time, Disney said nothing. No clarification, no PR cleanup, no attempt to pivot the messaging. They stayed silent, letting Rachel carry the full weight of the controversy. That silence spoke volumes. By the time trailers for Snow White started rolling out, the damage had been done. Gone were the beloved dwarfs, the prince, and the traditional elements that made the story iconic. In their place was a new narrative, one focused on political messaging and reimagining at the expense of nostalgia. The phrase "girlboss Snow White" started trending, but not in a good way. It became shorthand for everything fans felt had gone wrong with the project. When the movie finally hit theaters, it was clear something was off.
She's cheering at the sight of her own name. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what theaters look like across the world.
Despite a massive marketing push, the film struggled at the box office. It didn't just flop, it bombed hard. Critics panned it, audiences stayed away, and on IMDb, it dropped to a shockingly low 1.6 rating, making it one of the worst-reviewed Disney films in history. This wasn't just a financial failure, it was a cultural one. And for Rachel Zegler, the consequences extended far beyond one bad review. Her name became synonymous with a failed reboot. And in an industry that thrives on image, that's a hard stain to wash off. But perhaps the most bizarre twist came when an AI-generated OnlyFans profile using Rachel's likeness went viral online. It wasn't real, but that didn't matter. Thousands of people believed it was, at least for a moment. And the fact that it didn't immediately strike people as fake? That says everything. Rachel's public image had taken such a drastic hit that people were willing to believe just about anything. Her team denied it. The internet laughed. But the incident proved just how far public perception had shifted. Behind the scenes, the fallout continued. Projects she'd been attached to suddenly stalled. Roles she was rumored to have secured quietly went to other actresses. Her involvement in future Disney films, once seen as inevitable, was now uncertain. Insiders whispered that she had become a PR liability. Casting directors started passing on her. Executives stopped name-dropping her in meetings. The same industry that once embraced her was now keeping its distance. Adding to the turbulence was her very public breakup with longtime partner Josh Andres Rivera. The couple had met on the set of West Side Story, and their relationship was once held up as a model of young Hollywood love. But the strain of the backlash, the constant headlines, and the emotional toll proved too much. Sources close to the couple say the pressure broke them. For Rachel, it was another personal loss made painfully public. And then came The Simpsons. When The Simpsons lampoon someone, it's rarely random. Their satire is sharp, deliberate, and aimed only at those who have truly become larger-than-life spectacles. Their episode, SnowWoke, the Reimagining, featured a character so clearly based on Rachel Zegler that fans didn't need a press release to connect the dots. Rachel Z-Band's Princes delivers over-the-top feminist monologues and watches her film crash and burn in Springfield theaters. The episode ends with her having a meltdown on the Krusty the Clown show, a desperate caricature of a fallen star trying to reclaim relevance. The satire is brutal, and the message is clear. This isn't just about a movie. This is about a cultural shift. Once you're parroted by The Simpsons, your story isn't just news, it's legend. For Rachel Zegler, it's a defining moment, and not the good kind. She's gone from breakout star to industry cautionary tale, a textbook example of how quickly things can unravel when public perception turns. And while redemption is always possible, Hollywood does love a good comeback. The road back is going to be long, steep, and watched by everyone, because in an industry where your image is everything, Rachel's has been cracked wide open. And now, all eyes are on her next move. Will she rebuild? Will she disappear for a while and return stronger? Or will this chapter become the one she's forever defined by? One thing's for sure, the fairy tale is over. What comes next is up to her.